Just leaving Porto Santo, heading towards Madeira. It's actually about 30 miles. I had thought it was 20, so we're going to be slightly longer than we thought, but it's alright. Looking back at Porto Santo on a dead run downwind to Madeira, just in the distance here. We're about 4 or 5 hours away from that. But lovely sail. Start of a lovely trail near Canisal in the east part of Madeira, and somebody had commented that it looks like the surface of Mars, and it really does. Very red, but beautiful. So we're just about to walk along these cliffs, and yeah, it should be really nice. It's a quiet trail. All the trails we've been on the last couple of days have been very busy, but this one is, we should have it pretty much to ourselves, which is wonderful. So we got up at the crack of dawn and took the car up into the mountains to do the PR1 hike, which is Pico de Arriero to Pico Ruvio. So these are the two of the three highest mountain peaks in Madeira. Pico Ruivo is the highest, and Pico de Arriero is just slightly less high, and it kind of starts from up on Pico de Arriero. So you're already starting at a height, but it's quite a tough walk. There's a path the whole way, and it's really well marked and laid out with guide rails and everything, but like it's very, very, very steep, and there's lots of ups and downs. But it was really, really an enjoyable day and very spectacular scenery, so I highly recommend this particular walk if you're in Madeira. We're just leaving Quinta de Lord Marina, on Madeira, and we're heading for Lanzarote, 280 nautical miles away. So yeah, lovely morning. We're just going to get the sails up now, so bear with us. Right, do you want to go up and do that? Just need to pull it down a small bit. It's jammed in the leaving Madeira behind us. Quiet start to the day in terms of wind. It's basically not very much at all, so we're motoring for the first maybe hour or so, and hopefully we'll pick up some breeze then. Kind of a hazy day, but I think it'll be quite nice once the sun gets up into the sky.
Oh, look, a turtle.
Really?
No. Oh.
So it's the morning of Tuesday the 4th of October at 10 past 9 a.m. We left Porto Santo. Sorry, we left Madeira, Quinta del Lord Marina at about 20 past 8 this morning. So it wasn't much wind at first and we were motoring, but now we've got a nice 9 or 10 knots and we're sailing along at about 4 knots of boat speed. It's going to be a nice sunny day, I think. Maybe slightly hazy, but when we move away from land it might get a little less so. It's 280 miles to Lanzarote, so that's around 2.5 days, so we should get in Thursday evening or night at some stage. So yeah, at the moment we're kind of on a broad reach. That main can go out a little bit. So yeah, we haven't seen much by the way of sea life apart from dolphins, and we had one flying fish that I didn't mention on the last video that just basically flew in here. He's quite big, it was almost like a quarter of the length of the back of the cockpit there, and I had a bucket in the sole of the cockpit, so I was just able to scoop him up and fling him overboard. But yeah, apart from that we haven't seen any real wildlife, and we've been kind of hoping not to because of the orca situation. So like you're kind of scanning the horizon hoping you don't see anything.
But now we hope we do.
Yeah, now we're away from all of that. We hope that we see some...
We've left the orca page.
Hopefully we'll see some pilot whales or friendly orca, or I think there's all sorts of sperm whales and fin whales in these waters, so keep our eyes open. I was hoping you were asleep. So the wind is coming up quite nicely as we're passing the last of the Islas Desertas, just south of Madeira, the part of the Madeira archipelago. And we've got a fellow boat in there. I haven't looked at his length on AIS, but he's not enormous, but he's bigger than us, I think. However, we're kind of keeping pace with him in this breeze, which is kind of nice. Probably he'll shake us loose this evening and pick up the pace, especially if the wind slackens off. But it's nice to have him there for the moment. So, dawn of day 2 of our passage from Madeira to the Canaries. It's quite windy. I'd say steady 20 knots at the moment. So with 2 reefs in the main, we're kind of on a beam reach, but we're slightly down on the course, so we're sort of having to go a bit closer. So the second reef is definitely needed in the gusts, where we're quite overpowered without it. Angry looking cloud line there that I think is generating this current sort of semi-squally sort of conditions. So hopefully the day will brighten up a bit and there'll be less of that, but we are flying along at a nice average of about 5.5 knots, so that's good. It's my turn to make the food today. It's after dark, so it's kind of hard to see, but it is a pork, what is it? Pork peanut satay kind of a thing. It's lovely, hopefully. Day 3 of our crossing to Lanzarote. We left on Tuesday morning and it's now Thursday morning. We should get in by this afternoon. We've made great time really. It's been downwind all the way, and it's sort of 3 to 4 to occasionally 5, and sort of broad reaching for the most part, occasionally beam reaching, occasionally almost running, but mostly a nice broad reach. So we made landfall this morning at Lanzarote, the first of the Canary Islands that we're going to be visiting. Still another few hours to go to get in, but it's getting bigger and bigger on the horizon. Not a huge amount over the north side of the island, it's just mountainous and volcanic. When we left Madeira we had a German boat kind of leaving it around the same time as us, a little upwind of us, and it's the same German boat over there arriving at the same time as us in Lanzarote, which is kind of amazing. We saw a light in that direction last night, so it makes sense that it was them. But yeah, really happy that we kept pace with them. They're a slightly bigger boat, so yeah, great passage. Totally, completely uneventful. No jibes, no tacks, no fish caught, no wildlife seen. Yeah, perfect passage. Not great video material, but just really nice. Sunny, warm, mild nights, starry. Sinead saw some sort of a UFO and some sort of flashing light in the water, so great that she's slowly losing her mind. A couple of reefs thrown in and taken out. We have one reef in at the moment for the famous acceleration zones that occur when you approach any of the islands. In certain spots you get like about 10 knots of wind more than what you have elsewhere, and this corner is one of those. The southwest corner of Lanzarote is one of those. So we've arrived in Lanzarote in Porto Calero. No, we've arrived in Lanzarote in Rubicon Marina, just down the southwest of the island. Really helpful in the marina, got us into our berth, and yeah, don't feel particularly tired. Pretty kind of perfect 2.5 day passage. Uneventful, nothing really went wrong. Lovely wind, flew down here, absolutely flew down here, an average of 5 knots over the 280 miles, so can't really ask for more than that. A lot of the time we're going 6.5 knots. Didn't catch any fish, didn't hook any fish, didn't see any wildlife until we were within like a couple of miles of Lanzarote, and then we saw some possibly pilot whales. I'm not exactly sure what they were. And yeah, just looking around now at this beautiful Lanzarote sunset. It's as you can see from my clothes, it's not that warm. It was roasting when the sun was up, and it's gotten cold pretty quick, but that's probably just like tiredness and in need of a shower and some warm food, and yeah, a bit of a rest, good sleep, even though yeah, I don't feel too tired. So yeah, that's another offshore passage down, and we'll be in the Canaries for the next 3 or 4 weeks at least, and we're going to concentrate mostly on the smaller islands. Once Sinead does her day skipper, we'll probably head almost directly to La Gomera and do some walking there and visit La Palma and El Hierro. That'll be us, and then Cape Verde.